Good morning, everybody. It's Mark Arnstein, Remax Hallmark and livingnorthtoronto.com. This is episode number 6 of the Mark Arnstein Show. And I'm here with longtime staple of North Toronto, Mr. John Corallo of the Coop Ink men's clothing store up on Yonge Street. John, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. So John the Coop Ink itself has been in business for 34 years. But how long have you had it?
Well, I purchased the Coop in 98. The initial opening of the Coop was actually 83.
83,
so it's
okay.
been in the community for 38 years now.
38 years, sorry.
Yeah.
You need to update your website.
Month, ironically. Yeah. But I bought it in 98. So when I left Rosen and joined the Coopink crew, the idea was to keep Bev Klein's legacy living and take over the business and run it and turn it into the Coop it is today.
And the irony of that is my son is best friends with his with their grandson.
Yep.
Yeah. So
small
which
world.
Is small world, which is really cool. Which who knew? Okay, so quickly back. I want to get back to something a little bit quickly of the history. So the store originated down at on Yonge Street between Glen Forest and Roslyn, right there, smack in the middle of the street, and then you guys then left there, bought the new location up the street, did a massive renovation, which was like 10 years ago already?
2010, so 11 years ago.
11 years ago, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we tore down the building over here.
Yeah.
To get it to what we wanted it to be. The idea was to give it a location that was as comfortable as the old location because we had been in the community for so long. We had history. And we didn't want people to come in and think it was cold and not the old Coop, the old comfortable Coop. So we kind of did a little old school New York feel to it and used a lot of our old fixturing and old little accents, we'll call it, and made it easy for people to kind of come in very comfortably.
That is for sure. As I know, as I am a regular at the store, I shop there very quite on a regular basis. I love going. It's always fun to hang out with you guys.
Don't tell anybody.
So no, it's great. I mean, like John, I love having John on because John's not just more than just a local retailer from the community. John is actually a really good friend. We have so much in common. Our boys through our hockey connections and just our love for clothes and just kind of life in general. And, it's fun because I love coming to the store because it's not just coming in the store to buy something, when you need a piece of clothing. It's coming in to have a catch up and a chat and, hang out and, shoot that for a little while. And, it's a cool experience.
We're almost like the psychiatrist, but we don't have a couch to lay down on and we don't charge you for it.
Exactly. So it's a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get some cool clothes, some therapy all at the same time for the price of just the clothes. So
a laugh at good times.
Totally. Yeah. So, let's kind of go in a direction a little bit. So like a lot of the retailers, because of COVID, unfortunately, everyone's had to do a lot of pivoting and it's been a bit of a struggle, but you guys have done a great job because you got a great database of which you work off of. One of the coolest things that I think people should know is that you guys do a lot of the clothing for a lot of the NHL guys. So talk about how did you get started with that?
Well, back in the day, that's got to be back in 98, I guess 97 is when we met I met the first guy who was Ty Domi, and Ty Domi, nicknamed the Mayor by his teammates, was nicknamed the Mayor for a reason. He introduced me to everybody. And, from there, it just blossomed. It was just one guy after another, one guy after another, one guy after another. And then another client of mine who was a VP of marketing of Quiznos Canada at the time was shooting a commercial with Ty Domi and Don Cherry and was looking for a suit for Don Cherry. So we got the job to make a custom piece for Don Cherry. Player after player after player after player just started coming, and so we've seen a lot over the years for sure.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And
it's fun.
Yeah. Well, and one of the cool things, if you come and visit the store, especially, you just never know who's going to be in there when you pop in to hanging out and, trying on stuff. I mean, I remember popping there, I think it was I think it was just before the pandemic, and Freddie Anderson was in the store, like, getting some stuff done, and it's cool. I mean, it makes such a cool part of the experience about coming to your store and shopping in there that, like there's like, especially if you have love for sports, you just don't know who you're going to bump into when you walk into the store, which is cool.
It's great because when they do come in the door, they are like, it's kind of like Coop rule. Like, you're in my house, then game on, right? So
yeah.
Anybody and everybody can come up to them, and they're very pleasant, as most of them are. And they really accommodate people because they get it, the wow factor. For me, like I'm used to dealing with the guys for so long. They're just normal people, right? You know how it is. You're a hockey guy.
Yeah.
Hockey is, it's the unwritten rule. It's the clique. It's like the private school clique, but it's a hockey clique. So it's fun, and you treat them like they're humans, and with utmost respect. And some people try to wheel them in, I guess, and they're not stupid. Like, why would you do that to that individual? So because they're a hockey player. So just treat them like they're human, and we get along with it.
That's so awesome. Now, because I started on this a little bit earlier, we kind of got off topic a bit, but because of COVID, one of the things you did to pivot a little bit was you came up with Coach's Corner. Coach's Closet. Now tell me, like, we've never really talked about it a whole lot. So let's get into that a bit, because I think it's a really cool concept, and it's an auction site where you can buy a lot of Don's jackets, memorabilia, and other stuff as well, right?
Right. Absolutely. So when we jumped on board with this idea, the scenario was to produce replica jackets of Don's and offer them online with a percentage going to his Pet Rescue Foundation. So when I approached Don with the idea, Don came back to me and said, well, Don boy, why don't we use my jackets? And I was like, what? Use your jackets? What do you mean? You want to get rid of your jackets? He's like, yeah, do you think I can get any money for them? And I was like, yeah, I think you can, Don. So we started off with Coach's Closet Series 1, and it was a smaller rendition just to launch it, and the platform we put on our coopink.ca site that has an easy link in the menu to go to Coach's Closet. And what we did was we started with jacket ensemble. So he gave us 5 of his jackets with shirt, tie, and link combos, and that's kind of how we started. So it was, these jackets, like, they're a $2,500+ creation, we'll call it, right? Like,
right.
I know it's a pillow or a cushion or a curtain. Fabric doesn't mean much, but the alignment of all the craziness takes time and effort. So we put these jackets. We were going to put them actually at 5,000 because there's only 280 of these in the world that are cherry worn. So, and the idea was, again, all the money was going to the Pet Rescue Foundation. So I don't get a dime for it. It's my platform, so that traffic comes to my site. That's, I guess, my reward. But the bigger reward is helping, animals in need in this case, which was a foundation that Don started years ago, and his daughter Cindy Cherry runs. So very important to the family. Great foundation. So the idea was to generate as much money through worn garments as possible of Don Cherry, because who wouldn't want a Don Cherry piece hanging behind their desk in the office, signed personally to them, or just signed? As I say, there's not a lot of pieces in the world. So we started off that way, and we were very successful the first round, extremely successful. We raised over $35,000 for the first grouping for the Pet Rescue Foundation. And then
that's awesome.
We moved on to the second series, and we decided to add, Bobby Orr pieces, because Bobby Orr is his, his favorite player of all time.
Right.
And he's got a lot of stuff of Bobby, and Bobby gave us a lot of stuff. So we started putting sticks and pucks and autographed pictures and framed items. And, the second series, we raised $30,000. So now we're into our third series, which is going to actually launch November 11th. We figure the smoke cleared some. So we targeted November 11th as the launch.
Right.
And we have an assortment, again, of some very unique items, because let's face it, Don's got some stuff that we're never going to see out there in the marketplace. Like, for example, one of the Series 3 items is a hand-knit Boston Bruins sweater that he wore every morning to take his dog for a walk. There's only one of these in the world. You can't get this. It's mint. It's not like it's dirty clothing or that type of scenario. It's all kind of refreshed and fluffed up. We make it as best as possible. And we offer it on the market. Again, all dollars going to the Pet Rescue Foundation and Don Cherry Pet Rescue Foundation.
Right.
And the cause is, it's phenomenal. So the I guess the creation of it and the continuation of it, like, we're evolving with it. We're listening to what people are saying. There's always a jacket element because that's kind of his thing. And, people are excited by it, and we've actually got a lot of return bidders.
Right.
So,
because that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. And he doesn't care, like, just getting rid of all this stuff. Like, it's no big deal to him. I guess he's just
Mark, he's got so much stuff. And the stuff that he has, like, he's acquired. Like, we have a jacket in there for, the prospects game that he'd always coach on the opposite side of Bobby Orr.
Right.
So I've got, his worn prospects game from 2001 with Bobby Orr's signature on one side, Don Cherry's signature on the other leather sleeve. Like, these are his items, right? Like, he doesn't, people aren't giving him items and he's giving them away. That's not what he does. He's purchased all his jackets for me over all these years, and all his shirts were made by another manufacturer, custom, because he's got his patented high collar. And the neckwear he has has to be 40 plus years old. Like, the odd new piece gets him, right? But Mickey Mouse and stuff. Remember that time? That was like in the 80s, late 80s, right? Early 90s. So, he's a character for sure, but he's got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So.
Okay, so if people want to log on to that site and get onto the auction when it starts going on, does it stay open for a period of time, or
So we usually keep it open for about a 3-week period of time, so that you have time to kind of go back and forth and see what's happening and see the bid increments. Right. So this one, like, you'll go to our coopink.com or coopink.ca because it's a Canadian icon, so we added the CA link. And in the menu bar, it's under Coach's Closet. So you can go in there actually now, and you can see our last auction, which is finished. You can kind of see the items and what the items went for. And then our new Series 3 will be coming up live actually very shortly.
Cool.
So you can preview the items before we launch on the 11th.
Right. And how many items are going to be in this round? We
have 23 items in this round. So we have, one of a kind blue lamp from restaurant days with a story behind that. Gordie Howe, Aquila TSN jacket that was gifted to Don by Gordie. There's Don Cherry's original Spitfire jacket from when he was 16.
Oh my God.
This thing's insane. It's so destroyed. Like, we talk about, fluffing up goods. This jacket is so destroyed, like, ripped cuffs, reversible, worn out buttons. Like, this was the pivotal jacket of his hockey career start. And this thing, like, I just see it behind glass. Like, it would be the coolest thing behind glass in an office. And signed by Don Cherry himself, his Windsor Spitfire jacket that he wore number 3. Right. So there's some cool stuff. And with Cindy, writing the content for me, like, the stories they have and the knowledge she has, obviously it's her dad, They're from Chicago. They're from Boston. Sorry. They're from the US. Like, that's where they started. So she's got a really great, great view of things, we'll say.
Right. Yeah.
But some of the history and some of the stuff that Don has it's remarkable. It's really fun to see, actually.
Oh, it's great. And, there's so many hockey families and guys that live up in the neighborhood and stuff like that, especially, that are so entrenched in the hockey world. What cooler thing to be to come by and, bid on some of the stuff, not to mention the fact that it's also going to a great cause too, on top of it. Right.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Yeah. You can get a piece of his. How many of these charitable gigs do we know of that with an 88% markup or expense to it, right? This is just time and effort donated to get the job done. And every dollar, as I said, goes to the foundation. So, if it's a $10,000 jacket, $10,000 is going to foundation. So it's great in that respect. I feel like, we're doing a good job of it for sure. And, we have not necessarily only community guys, but it's reached all across Canada. Like the last grouping, I think I shipped out 6 or 7 items out west.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, West Coast is really into it for sure. Yeah.
Right. Well,
so it's exciting to see it reach.
Yeah, and it's interesting, because obviously, as we all know, Don's not on CBC Hockey Night in Canada anymore, and so and for anyone that's at least, I would say 15 years or older, knows of Don Cherry from Coach's Corner, and has grown up watching him every Saturday night on and through the playoffs of hockey, and listening to his craziness and analyze the games, and it's such a cool concept.
I mean, he's got fans that are kids that don't even know who he is, but just he's the crazy man on in intermission that dresses like a madman, or we'll call it, or fun, colorful, and right to I've seen videos of dogs barking out of control when his segment comes on TV because he'd have his blue in there, and what I mean. So, the weirdest thing, like how he attracted mass audiences without even them knowing who he was. Not to mention the audience that know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when our office was up the street, directly across the street from the store, before we moved. And one time I wasn't there, I missed it, but he pulled up in his big white, 70s Eldorado Cadillac or something like that. And
Lincoln.
I think Lincoln, sorry. And everyone from the office came running across the street because everyone was all excited because Don Cherry was across the street. He's so Canadiana. It's there's, it's Don, hockey, and Canadian, and they all go together, right? It's so neat.
I got to tell you a funny story. So
go ahead.
In the early years when I first met Don, he wanted to kind of walk the community. I had told him that my dad's down the street with the barbershop, right? Corallo Hair Care. So he's like, well, let's go meet your dad. So we started walking down the street, and it was funny, we're talking, and he was all dressed up because that's, Don's either dressed fully or he's super casual, but he's only super casual at the hockey rink or in his house, right? So he's always dressed up. We'll call it in uniform, right? So we were going down the street, and there was some honks, right? And I laughed because I said, Don, I'm well known in the community because I've been here for a long time, so people honk and wave at me and stuff like that. And he's like, he looks at me and goes, John boy, he goes, come on. He goes, they're laughing, they're honking at me. I said, oh, okay, God, no, you're probably right. 2 seconds later, my phone rings and it's a client. He's like, hey, I just passed you. I was honking at you, waving. Sorry, I couldn't stop. Right? I looked at Don, I was like, see, I told you I was well known in the community. But he was always he's a great dude. He's so down to earth, and he's such a joker. He initiated, walked down the street to see Pops. 9 out of 10 guys aren't going to do that. Right?
No. So, no.
He's a good-hearted soul. He is what he is when he's on air, but that's how we roll, I guess.
And what's he doing now? Is he just taking it easy?
Well, he does his podcast. He does a weekly podcast that talks hockey. A lot of people wish that they could see him kind of in a video, but to be frank, the studio that CBC had, the $1 million plus lighting setup, Don is not going to be Don if he's not with all the lights and allure. So he's doing just the podcast with his family. Tim's involved, Cindy's involved, the grandson's involved, and he's comfortable doing it. So he's still informing people, but he's kind of happy to be out of the limelight.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the store for a second, and let's talk about that because, again, the Coop is the Coop. I mean, it's the essence of where to go and shop for, men's clothing, and if you want that boutique experience that is not going to be salesy, that's going to be like we were mentioning earlier. Really come in, you get to shoot the whatever, hang out, look around, no pressure, and very hands-on service. So what's going forward right now for men's fashion going into the fall?
Well, I mean, obviously the world has pivoted big time because everybody's working from home. So it's a real tough scenario for a lot of people that struggle, that wore a suit to work and was easy as wearing a shirt and tie. Dressing casual is a lot of work for these people. A lot of people don't understand it. So the big major pivot is casual. You remember years ago when tech became pretty big and it was like kind of a grunge world, we'll call it.
Right.
It became really street, ripped up, really casual. We're not there, don't get me wrong, but we're definitely in casual mode. Jacket dressing, soft jackets, not really structured jackets, so full shoulder lines, like more sweater-esque type jacketings with softer combinations underneath, like fine gauge knits. You still could wear collared shirts. There's a lot of t-shirts being worn to the whole I'm working from home, I want to be comfortable. Flannel shirts, jog jeans,
Right.
super leisure t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, lightweight hoodies is all kind of what I see as kind of a mainstay right now. I mean, guys are below that or above that, we'll say, because everybody's got a different situation. But in terms of the fashion, it's really, I guess you could say, cottage hunter meets restaurateur. Like it's a weird combo for sure.
Right.
Some people are just dying to dress up, and they'll go to go out to eat, and they'll be fully like as best dressed as they can be. But for work, they don't need to be that way. They can wear a t-shirt and a pair of jeans from the office. It's at home.
So, well, yeah, I mean, because you're the waist up, right? So no one really.
Yeah. But people are wearing pants now, so that's a good thing. When they're doing their Zoom meetings. So because the pants are essentially joggers, but they're not joggers. They're a lot nicer than a jogger. So.
Okay, so let's just explain to everybody what a jogger actually is. So for people who don't know what a jogger is, because there's jogger jeans and there's jogger pants, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. So we think track pant with an elastic bottom, that billows at the bottom with the waistband done in cotton. That's a track pant. That's not a casual outfit. The whole jog jean world is, denim related or secondary fabric. So cotton stretches in jean cuts, so they have a fifth pocket. That's that front pocket with that little coin pocket in there. That's what's the fifth pocket for all of those that don't understand what that is or know what that is. And the waistbands are cinched with a drawstring on it. So you don't have to wear a belt. You just kind of cinch the waistband, and with the stretch in them, which generally has 4-way stretch, you've got one of the most comfortable bottoms on the planet. So now they've taken that and they've made it into jersey fabric. So now you've got, a sweat top material made into a pant with a drawstring and an elastic waistband. And it just continues to get more and more comfortable, but it's dressier. It's got a look to it. So how would you wear that, or what would you wear that with? You wear a sweater, fine gauge knit over top, untucked, because you don't tuck sweaters in, with a t-shirt underneath. And there you are. Wear a t-shirt with it if you wish, solid color, little logo, that's fine, but not a logo that says whatever golf club on it or whatever, hardware fastener company or whatever freebie you got, 100 years ago.
Right.
From some office party. Right? So
that wasn't accusatory towards me, was it?
No, why do you have North Toronto Living polos?
No, I do not have, and it's not North Toronto Living; it's Living North Toronto.
Well, okay, Living North Toronto.
No, I do not have T-shirts or polos made up. We're getting hoodies though.
Nice. I want one.
I know. I have one coming for you. There's one just for you. No,
I love my hoodies.
Hoodies are great.
And my Batman tees. Batman.
For sure. No, I mean, I have a couple, I just bought a pair of joggers jeans from you from some Diesel ones. And I actually was just wearing them last night because it was our anniversary and we were out for dinner. And I was actually all dressed in Coop attire. I meant to take a picture and send it to you, but I
saw it. I commented. I wish you guys a happy anniversary, but
no.
That 1,000 comments later.
And that goes back to my next comment, which is now the big trend is getting away from dress shoes and getting more into cool kicks, fancy sneakers.
Yeah, like a dress sneaker is key right now for sure. Rubber sole, is kind of casual. The world we'll call it, like leather bottoms. I mean, there's still that person that's going to dress that way. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad thing to dress up when you could dress up, but definitely casual shoes are mainstay right now. Yeah. Because guys are wearing, Jordan, limited edition Jordans too, right? Like they're wearing high-end sneakers too, right? But that whole casual athletic style shoe, is hot for sure, and perfect with all these type of leisure pants that are happening.
Right. And okay, so and then for winter, is much going to change, or it'll stay? Because we're kind of like we're just getting the start of the fall season, and then in a couple more months we're going to hit the winter season, right?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see boots and stuff come back for sure, because people are going to need to wear their boots, and they can actually wear their boots with these outfits. Remember back in the day, like probably last time I saw a big boot push was with Uggs. And I don't mean like the traditional Uggs that everybody knows what they are. They produced a whole bunch of boots. It was a boot season, and we've gone from like the dress boots to the Barbados boots of the world, that are kind of that cool jean boot. And now we're going to go into rubber soled, Vibram type soled boots. Again, a little bit more active wear, we'll call it, but something more to deal with the elements. Right. But I'm not talking Sorels.
No,
right?
No.
There's a time and place for Sorels too, though, but not going to a restaurant.
No, but there's like the Cole Haans, there's the Barbados ones. There's, like the Uggs. I mean, they've all gotten way more fashion forward for sure. That I've seen to boot from New York. I'm just thinking of like the general ones that a lot of guys mostly wear. So yeah. Well, you got to think like the world's been on hold for, the last year and a half, and a lot of people have only been able to shop online, we'll say, and they've really kind of done a lot of their research. So a lot of people have desires and wants for a product that we may never see hit the shelf, right? Because of the whole shipping world. But the look is definitely achievable for sure. Right. How has that affected you guys with the shipping part of it for bringing your like supplies and stuff in? Is that having a lot of like difficulties for you guys from a stocking standpoint, or are you okay?
Well, I've always bought my products 6 months in advance. So we're always a season ahead, we'll say, in purchasing. So our goods have been made up, our goods have been shipped. So the only change we did here was we obviously pivoted, and we didn't buy too aggressively. So where it's affecting us would be, if we have to go back to the well and grab some items to fill in, that's where our suppliers are a little low because they're waiting on their inventory, and they've been very cautious in that respect too. But we're not kind of like it's really to get our goods out. Yeah, we're overpaying for shipping just like the world is right now. But it's getting to us for sure. Right. For sure. But it won't be an overindulged type season. This is actually the first year in the Coop history that I don't think we're going to have a Boxing Day. We're really well known for that Boxing Day, but I think it's not happening, because there's just going to be no merchandise to have it. Right. So,
everything's in limited supply.
Well, yeah, you have to kind of put your best foot forward and have your goods for your clients. And then, that Boxing Day was kind of help your suppliers and turn and burn goods. And I don't see it happening. Right. So
let me ask you a question. Do you think the impact from the pandemic is going to have a negative or positive impact on the way retail is done moving forward?
Well, I think retail, we have to change. I know I've changed. I mean, we're limited hours, 11 to 4, Mondays through Sundays. We've added Sundays back now. That's a 5-hour day, yes. But I find our clients come to us and are calling us and setting up appointments. And we've always been destination, so we know who's coming through the door. I think gone are the times in retail where we're open till midnight and, maybe I'll come by or we'll see what happens, or you wait for a customer to trip in the doorway type scenario. That's gone and done, long time done. We've always kind of worked appointment with our clients, but I find that this kind of reminds me of the 90s, the way clients really preferred to work appointments and wanted you to know they were coming in, and you'd set up goods for them, or you'd go to their house or bring them an assortment, leave it with them, come back to them. That's kind of where it's gone. Like we kind of had that 12 years of pure chaos in retail, I guess, where people were just out of control. And then, if anything, COVID has kind of slowed us back down and restarted us back. And, guys, obviously there's some pent up demand for sure. Like people haven't bought stuff for a while, but there's also people that have bought stuff and haven't been able to wear it. right? So,
Yeah.
and those people want something fresh anyways, because they've been staring at it in their closet, stuck in their house for a year and a half. And they're like, I don't care if that sweater's new. I don't want it. I want something else. So for us as a retailer, yeah, like it's you have to change. You have to make the moves, right? With the time and be ahead of the curve. And I think we've done a good job of it here. So.
No, I know. And that's one of the things I've been impressed with, just watching, like, obviously as you go around, you see the various retailers and see how people are doing things and and moving forward. And, because you guys are so hands-on with your clients, like it's not like you said, your destination store. The fact that people, they come in, they're not coming in for running in and grabbing something for 2 minutes. They're coming in because they're coming in for a shopping experience. Right.
Exactly,
so they're going to take the time to come and be there. So, if they make the appointment, you're set up for it. You're ready to go. Yeah.
And our clients love us for that, because our clients know, like, when I first meet clients, it's kind of, I guess, the same thing that I'll say quite often is, whatever we sell you in our store, we can tell you it looks great till we're blue in the face. When you leave the shop and somebody tells you you look awful or you look great, that's going to come out. That's going to solidify what we do. And right. I've told my clients over all these years, I've got no need or desire to send you walking with something that's not proper, because it's just going to come back at me, and I'm not interested in that. I've been doing it too long. Yeah, so our clients respect, the information we give them. They respect and appreciate us. And that's one of the major COVID twists, is we lost some of that during the chaos, we'll say. Like, our clients and clients that weren't ours just treated us as a clothing store. And that's not kind of what we've always kind of put ourselves to be,
Yeah. And it's that whole online experience, right? Like, I mean, there's something very different about going to a store and trying it on and making sure it fits properly. And because there's, again, like, unless you have a very distinct body type which is like, kind of say long and lean, it's very, where, you can just buy anything, it doesn't really matter. But like, if you're, like me, who's on the shorter side of things and just the way I'm built, it's, like, even stuff that, that kind of fits, you should know the fit of it, can still vary enough that it's better to go, it's easier just to be in the store and try it on properly, and then have you make sure it fits properly to walk out and, look like $1 million and know that you feel good about what you bought. And then,
plus the tailorability, right?
Yeah, exactly. So rather than buy it online, wait for it to arrive, ship it, try it, and go, it doesn't work. Then you gotta go package it all back up again, ship it back out the door, wait to get your refund. Like, I don't know. I call me old school. I just think that there's something about that experience where you can go in where you trust your person who you're dealing with, and they're going to dress you accordingly, they're going to fit you accordingly, and they're going to make you feel awesome when you walk out the door. And I think that's one of the things that I think really distinctly sets you guys apart from most retailers out there, and makes you such a fun experience coming to the store.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I totally agree with you.
I should hope so.
Yeah. Well, listen, even though I people ask me what I do for a career, I tell them I sell socks and underwear. I mean, that's what I do. But yeah, the respect is two-sided. I mean, I respect everyone that walks through that door, and I kind of appreciate the respect back. Right. So when we're dressing and helping a client, we listen to their needs. We don't sell them our needs. We listen to their needs, and we put a program together from that. Right. And it's important. And it's important in all areas. Real estate. No. Your barber, you got to trust them to cut your hair straight. You know what I mean? You got to trust your realtor to do the job that has to be done, necessary job. So why wouldn't you want to So,
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's funny, like, I talk about that, like, especially with the kids, right? Like, listening to what people are saying to you and taking time to digest that information is so key to setting yourself up for success, right? Because if you constantly try and just get your agenda put across without listening to what the client's saying to you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in anything, right? It doesn't matter. Like, your business, my business, like, just you're setting yourself up for a position to be for failure as opposed for success, right? Exactly. And I remember my stepfather said to me when we started going to China for work, and going on buying trips. And, he ran London Drugs, which is a major drugstore chain out west in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. And he said, no one knows how smart you are until you open your mouth.
Yeah, or until you shut your mouth.
Exactly. So, right. So but listening to what people are saying to you is so super important, right?
As you say that to me, I'm multitasking because, the parking in this neighborhood is vicious. So,
you're reloading your meter.
Yeah. Sorry, I totally agree because it is like.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, right. Well,
so I always lose it.
Half the time, you might get away with it in your scenario, right? But as soon as the customer or client will leave, think about what that discussion is. Were you there? Or did you hear? Like, he just didn't say anything that, was what we were talking about, right?
Right.
Anyway, so, sorry, what was that? It's all good. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
Yeah, no, sure. It's all good. It's all good. Sure. Okay, so John, I don't want to take up any more of your time because I know you got a lot of stuff going on and you got to get back to
my parking.
Yeah, but it has to do with talking to me. You got your store. You got to open up.
I know. Thank you.
Unless you just want to stay there and hang out and keep talking with me. I mean, like I'm always happy to talk with you, but I mean, I don't know how much longer you want to keep on going.
We can add another blog down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody wants to come and visit you at the store, I believe the address is 3435 Yonge Street.
Correct.
So just literally between Melrose and Deloraine on the east side of the street, right, kind of pretty much in the middle of the block. It is one of the coolest looking stores in all of North Toronto. They've done a phenomenal job in what you've done in putting that store together. And if anyone really wants to see the history of that, John, we've had on like a lot because of our relationship. And I just think John just such a great local community business owner and retailer. So I think it's always important to help support him as much as I possibly can. No, I did not get any discounts at the store for doing all this. It's just, I actually really like working with John. So it's all good. But you can go back into our YouTube channel and you can check out some of the really old posts when I was also a lot fatter. So it's just for fun. But come by, visit John. You can visit him on the web at coopink.com, right?
Yeah, or coopink.ca.
Coopink.ca. Also follow along on Facebook, Instagram. Handles are
at Johnny from the Coop, at @_Coop Ink. Facebook is Coop Ink, INK.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So John's always posting all kinds of great stuff. What's going on in the store? New items are arriving all the time. So if you want that really cool, phenomenal retail experience and a no pressure sales environment, go see Johnny from the Coop Ink at 3435 Yonge Street. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee it.
There you go. Love to meet y'all.
John, thank you so much, my friend. All the best. Take care. And we'll see you soon, brother.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.